Hey brothers, what's going on? I'm JK, your brother in this struggle, head coach and founder of the PornReboot system. Well, it's almost that time of the year again, New Year's resolution time. And I've been spending most of the day doing a 2021 goal setting review. And it made me realize that there are 5 common mistakes that I see a lot of men making when they're setting their goals every year. Now tell me if you've ever been in this situation. So you've sat down to set your new goals, and then you've been like, well, where do I even start? Or maybe you've set new goals, and then somebody asks you, hey man, what are your goals for next year? And you just kind of make up goals on the fly in conversation, but you know that there's no real substance to it. You know that there's no certainty, there's no plan to it, there's no confidence. You just kind of set new goals because you're supposed to, right? Now that was me for many years, and you're not alone if you feel that way. And that's why I'm sharing a free resource with you. You can simply download it. It's the only link in the description, which is below this video. But this is the exact same outline that I've used for years to set New Year's goals and to create the lifestyle and the freedom that I know you want as well. And I created this resource in 2018 with the help of a mentor of mine, and I'd like to share it with you today. Now, there is one thing I've been proud about. It took me a while to have pride in this, but it's about what I've accomplished in my career since about 2008, since graduating from college. I was working on the side, but every year, year after year, I've never been the best in the world, but I have increased my self-discipline, I've increased my emotional control, my income, and the quality of my relationship year after year, every single year of my career, except perhaps for the 1 year when I transitioned from my old company to PornReboot full-time. Now recently, more and more people have asked me about that. Did it just happen by accident? No. I really believe that it's how I've planned my years, especially in the last couple of years. And I've developed a system, or rather an outline to do it. But first of all, I want to tell you about the 5 mistakes that I see people make when they set New Year's goals. And mistake number 1 is that most people sit down to set New Year's goals with no real direction. So how many of you have done this before? Like, you know what? It's almost New Year's. What are my goals next year? But you know that you are the type of person, most of us are, that you're better with a recipe. You're better if you have some sort of outline. You're better if you have a roadmap, if you have a GPS, with some direction. So many of us just sit down and we start setting goals with no real outline. We don't really have any sort of direction. And that's one of the reasons why I'm sharing this guide with you. The second mistake is, I hear brothers say this, that I'm setting New Year's goals for next year. And I think a huge mistake that they make is that they set up just one type of goal, right? Let's say a number of days, off pornography, a business or career goal. For those of you in business or sales, right? How many of you have done that before? Like, what are your goals for next year? And it's just a number, right? I want to sell more. For other guys, it's I just don't want to watch porn at all next year, right? Or I want to make more. That's not setting yearly goals. That's just wanting to increase your income or wanting to stay off pornography. But you're missing the entire puzzle when you do that. You're missing the big picture that goes into creating the fulfillment, the success, and the life that you want by setting only one type of goal. So that's the second huge mistake. So the resource, which you can get in the description below this video, it helps you make sure that you're creating not just income growth next year, but fulfillment growth. That you're traveling more, you're slipping to pornography less, you're creating the lifestyle that you want, you have less PIED. Because what does it matter if you don't watch pornography next year, if you make more money next year, you don't have PIED, but you're stressed, you're out of shape, and you don't even have time to see your friends and family? Now, what if there was a way to know that you were going to grow in your reboot next year, grow in your relationship, grow your income, and create success in all the other areas of life that you want? What if there was certainty? All right. The third mistake I see a lot of men make is just setting goals randomly because of the calendar, right? And then your goal feels forced. How many of you have ever sat down, right, and set New Year's goals and it felt like a homework assignment, right? So instead, when you set New Year's goals every year, it should be largely based on where you've been and where you're going in the long term. And make sure that this next year, 2021, is a part of the puzzle of your life, of your mission. Instead of just randomly setting goals based on like a 365-day calendar that is fixed and structured for you. So I see a lot of men just creating goals which are forced. You're doing it based on a calendar. And the fourth mistake is those goals are not being shared with those closest to you, right? So the outline that I'm going to share with you, it's basically designed in a way that you could share it with other people. You could share it with an accountability partner, you could share it with a business partner, you could share it with your loved one, you could share it with your best friend, because most goals do not actually become real in your reality until you say them out loud, until you share them with others. So have you ever noticed that before? Like, you can think about it a lot, but when you finally share it with somebody, you get that feeling of, oh crap, I finally told someone I have accountability. So it becomes real, right? So this could be a discussion, it could be a guided conversation for you, for your accountability partner, a significant other, or a friend, or your loved one, your wife or your girlfriend. And finally, so many people set goals and just don't know how to create momentum towards those goals. So they don't know how to create an action plan or a routine that's going to actually put them in a position to grow year over year. So sometimes you actually end up putting too many things on your plate. And when it comes to building momentum, you oftentimes actually need to go small before you go big, or in fact, to go small in order to go big. So what are the habits, right? What are you going to do in the first week of January? What are you going to start doing tomorrow? You need a system, right? What are you going to do on January 1st to create momentum towards the goals that you really want to create next year? There are a lot of planners out there. There are a lot of goal-setting exercises, but they don't also help you set up the plan to create momentum. So in this free guide, which you can get access to in the description below this video, you can download it. It also comes with a training that you can watch on how to use it, but it'll not only make sure that you reflect, but it'll help you set clearer goals, and it'll help you create the calendar, it'll help you create the schedule and the plan in January to build momentum and to hit the goals that you want next year. Because growth is an intentional thing. Success is really just a series of habits and rituals. And if you don't have the right routine, the right habits, the right rituals in place to create growth, like, good luck, because chances are you're not going to have the growth that you're hoping for. And I'm sure you don't want to go through another year like that. So if you want to stop making the same mistakes that so many people are making and that you've probably already made, because I know I've made them as well. I made them year after year after year, where you set all these huge goals and you don't really hit them. Please take advantage of the free resource. And I promise you, I'm biased, of course, but I really believe that this is the best form of a review, the best training, the best goal-setting resource that you can get, right? It's very easy to follow. I think it's going to add a lot of value to your life, and it's really going to help you get ready for 2021, right? So it's not too late to do that. If you don't feel confident about your plans for next year, if you feel a little down, if you feel that you've relapsed or you're slipped, if 2020 and COVID-19 has got you down, at the very least, this is just something that's going to give you hope. So my suggestion to you is go ahead, download a copy of this actual training document, watch the video, the training that comes along with it, and put aside about an hour and do this, right? And fill that out completely. Print it out if you can. I believe it's an editable PDF as well, so you can fill it out on your computer and then move forward from there. Have a plan for next year. 2021 is going to be an amazing year for me. I know that. It's going to be an amazing breakthrough year for PornReboot with the men we're going to help and the awesome resources that we're coming out with. And I want you to come along with us on that journey. So go ahead and download that resource. I'm JK, your brother in this struggle. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you in 2021.